All right, so we're going to take a look at Luma Agents for the first time. So I'll walk you through what this board is and what we're doing here, but let me actually tell you what I'm trying to do here. So I love working with people in person. I love working with our customers, and this means I fly a lot. So it would be really, it's such a miss that we actually don't have the Concorde anymore. Wouldn't it be great to fly around the planet at Mach 2? So let's imagine what a Concorde built in 2026 will look like. All right, so what you see here is what we call a board. This is the place you collaborate with your creative agents. Here is chat. Language is a universal interface, and this is where you talk to your agents. You can ask for specific tools here when you're trying to do something, or you can completely work in high level, which is how we have found most people to actually be using Luma Agents. All of this work happens in the board right here. This is not arranged or done by a person. This is all generated by the agent. Most frequently used tools are also available right down here in the toolbar. That includes things for making specific kind of modalities, but also for drawing, editorial, and as well as documents. So let's work on our Concorde revival, all right? So I asked the agents, imagine Concorde, a supersonic passenger plane, but made in 2026. Design it and show me 20 ideas. Here is what it came up with. As it starts to work, it will actually go through the full thinking process, create a plan, and then execute it. You can actually follow through. You can ask it in the middle and interrupt it to do something different. It came up with these ideas. I don't particularly like those, but this one is just epic. This is, I think, how it would look like. But paint in airplanes generally adds to weight, so we'll have to solve that problem later. You also see one other example here. You see this thumbs down emoji on the asset. This is the agent itself evaluating AI artifacts on the cockpit. Lumpy fuselage lacks sharpness, right? And I think when we look at it, that's very true. This doesn't look like any kind of aerodynamic thing that would ever fly. Luma agents are able to go and look at extreme degree of detail in high resolution. Here's another example where we actually created butterfly wings or some kind of wings, and the agent correctly rejected that because I don't think that's going to work out. All right, so we really like that plane, but we just have a plane. I can't actually take it on or take on it. So I asked it, okay, show me the plane from every angle. This looks very good, but how does it look when we actually look at it from the front, from the top? And I think this is actually the winner, right? I mean, this looks absolutely sick. I don't think we are at the level of accuracy where we can design the plane, but we'll get there, definitely. But this looks pretty good, right? Good enough to send to someone and bug them to make the next Concorde. All right, so we have a plane, but now we need to do the work of actually commercializing it and materializing it. Okay, so this plane is it. Now help me launch an airline. And I'm going to call it FTL, faster than light. Design beautiful livery for it and how it would look in the terminal. That's pretty much all the input and all the instructions. And Luma agents basically start from thinking about, okay, how would the boarding passes look? How would you try to actually position the brand and things like that. And then that brand appears on the plane. Consistent, but also trying different ideas. This is how the airport appears. We're still in ideation phase. Now, we are here. Okay, we have some semblance of an airline. We have a plane, but we still need to tell the world about it, right? So let's do something here. So I'm going to ask it, now let's tell the world about it. Design a full-scale campaign for Instagram and billboards, and we'll let it do its job. In the meantime, we have to figure out how to pay for it. I think this is going to be very, very expensive. So I had an idea. NVIDIA went public in '99. So I was like, what if, because we can go faster than light now, that means we can travel back in time. So what if we could go back in time? So I gave Luma agents a 100-page investor prospectus for that NVIDIA issued during its take public. And I asked them, hey, create a detailed 20-minute presentation using this info and nothing else for an institutional investor considering participating in take public. use professional banking-style presentations. It turned on that for a bit and worked through about 100 pages of the documentation. And this is what it came up with. Now, it's really important to ask it to use nothing else, otherwise it will go search on the web and immediately tell me, buy it, right? Which is a problem. You see the capability of Luma agents in not just rendering the pixels. Pixels are just a medium, like words are just a medium of conveying information. When you combine intelligence with pixels, you get the ability to do things like this. You get the ability to convey detailed information that generally people would spend weeks actually making these kind of things. I looked through pretty much all of these, verified it personally and using a bunch of things. It was fully accurate, but I still won't claim that you should use this for investment. But we kind of ran into a logical problem, actually, because this was 99, and if you're following time travel correctly, I would be about 9 years old. So I wouldn't be able to buy this stock. So then I asked agents to make it like I'm a 9-year-old trying to convince my parents to buy the NVIDIA stock. And this is what it came up with. We need to buy NVIDIA stock, please. What even is NVIDIA, right? I don't think my parents would know at that time, but I think this would convince them. Okay, we can go back to FTL if things are, okay, we started giving access to people, so things might be getting slow now. But what you see here is I asked it to start producing campaigns, and it started work on all of those things at the same time. Now, I want to point out something very critical. Currently, if you're used to using AI tools, by the way, if you don't use AI tools, this all looks like rocket science, right? Like, this is all crazy. This is awesome that you can make all of this already. But if you're used to using AI tools, you would have been prompting for every single image, figuring out how to get the right composition, what to do with the prompt. Here, I didn't actually even carry the reference. The model understands what I'm trying to do. Agents understand what I'm trying to accomplish, take the right references, and produce entire campaigns. Of course, we will not make it live. There's a lot of editorial work necessary on it. But able to get me great ideas on what this should actually look like. Now departing JFK. All right. OK, I will let it finish. I want to show you something else in the meantime. This was just me playing with Luma agents. But when we give creatives, great creatives, access to Luma, things kind of go crazy.